Okay, we are officially past rumors because a massive news just dropped of the confirmed specs for the ROG Ally X, and I think it's not only going to make it the best handheld of 2024, it will also be the best handheld for a long time to come. But before that, hi, I'm Captain Awesome, this is Geekception, and I would really appreciate if you hit a like and subscribe as that really helps me out here on the channel. Okay, what do we know so far about the ROG Ally X? Well, we already know that it will use the same Z1 Extreme processor as the OG ROG Ally. It will have a bigger battery, more RAM, and finally it will come in a black color with support for 2280 SSDs. But outside of speculation, we just got a massive confirmation of some of the final ROG Ally X specifications thanks to video cards right here, with one major upgrade that I think makes the Ally X amazing, especially if you're thinking of upgrading from the OG Ally. And if you're thinking of buying the Ally right now, I already made a video if you should wait for the Ally X or buy this OG Ally right now. Links in the description down there below. Now, according to this article from Video Cards, we now have confirmed specs for the Ally X, and there are a few positive surprises here. And scrolling down, we can see that the Ally X here will have upgraded 1 terabyte of storage in this screenshot versus the 512 gigs that you're going to get on this OG Ally. It will also have double the battery at 80 watt hours compared to 40 watt hours here, meaning that realistically you are going to have maybe 3 to 8 hours of gaming time compared to, I say, 1 hour, which, even barely that I get here on the OG Ally. And blink twice and you're going to miss it, because I think the most important upgrade on the Ally X here is that it will have not one but 2 USB ports, baby. And outside of upgrading the processor here on the Ally, I think this is the next best upgrade that we could possibly get. Now, here's why it's a big deal. Because here on the OG Ally, say you want to, charge your device, but also plug in, like, let's say a USB drive, for example, because you only have one port, you resort to actually have to use a dongle, which is not convenient at all. Also on this original Ally right here, you actually have this XG mobile port right next to the USB-C port right here. And what that means is that, say you want to extend and use other graphics card with this device right here, well, you have to pony up and pay ASUS an absurd amount of money to be able to have that privilege, in quotes, because you just simply cannot just, take maybe like an old graphics card, put it in an enclosure, plug it here, and then you are good to go. No, you cannot do that here. But on the ROG Ally X, you absolutely can. And I think why this is such a massive deal is that you can extend the life of this handheld console. So let's say, for example, in 2 years, this Ally here is not able to play all the games that will come out then because they are so, graphics heavy and they require more processing power. Well, I'm out of luck with this Ally because I would need to still pony up and buy maybe, second hand or third hand, which will still be expensive, a graphics card for this XG Mobile, which is proprietary. But with the Ally X, literally at any time in the future, provided, there is a graphics card, there is USB-C, there is an enclosure, you can always upgrade the graphics performance for cheap. You might even already have a graphics card lying around and you don't need to spend extra money, which I think over the long run is just a massive improvement. And it's one of the reasons why, if I were to ever go for, another alternative to the ROG Ally here, it would have to be the Legion Go or even the MSI Claw, but more realistically the Legion Go, because of 2 ports and also external GPU support. And from this video cards article here, it does seem that the ROG mobile port for external GPU has been replaced with USB Type-C, and replacement here means that there will probably be no XG mobile port on the ROG Ally X. Now, if you've bought a XG mobile graphics card, external graphics card, please let me know, do you like this new development? Do you hate it? Because I cannot imagine that you spend that, much on an external graphics card, which is even more expensive than gaming computers, and then you're not able to use it. So let me know what your thoughts are about, the removal of the XG mobile port on the ROG Ally X. Next, let's talk memory, baby. Now, here we already know on the Ally X, it's going to support 2280 SSDs, which are typically the longer ones. But now it is also confirmed that it will go up to 24, or at least it will ship with 24 gigs of LPDDR5X 7500 memory. Now, if we compare it to what is on this current Ally right here, it has 16 gigs of LPDDR5 as well, but at a lower bandwidth here, 6400 compared to 7500 on the Ally X. And it also has 8 gigs more capacity, which means that in some games, this will absolutely get you better performance because of more headroom that can be allocated to games instead of here on the Ally. So yes, I'd say this is also another big deal here. Next, let's talk display. And I think on the Ally X, the display is pretty much going to be the same 7-inch display here on the OG Ally, 120 hertz refresh rate. I said in my previous video that I would have wished for OLED, but we're still getting the same wonderful display here. It's not bad. It's just that I would have wished for more. And now, speaking of cooling, I also see here on the article that in terms of cooling, ASUS has upgraded the fans to be 23% smaller with 50% thinner fans. And despite these changes, the airflow has increased by 10%. Now, I'm mixed on this primarily because we've seen what happens to the SD cards here on the Ally. They just, they're always frying. They stay frying. And with all of this whole, sort of controversy with customer service that ASUS had, they've not had the best, way of handling this. So I'm actually a bit scared that they removed or they made the fans thinner on the Ally X. Like I would imagine, and I think we saw it on the claw where they actually made, the fans bigger and they made the design much more better to accommodate the SD card there so that it doesn't, fry. And we've not heard, stories about MSI claws frying all the SD cards. But yeah, I would say it's nice that they're able to make it smaller, but I would take bigger fans all day if it meant that my SD card is not going to get fried. And for other upgrades, we definitely know that it's going to come in black. I'm ambivalent about it. I pretty much like the white. I was not, team white when I started with the Ally, but now that I've used it for a while, I think I actually like the white. It's separated from all the black consoles out there, right? But one of the other things that they've changed here is also making ASUS says the precision D-pad has been rated for 5 million cycles. I don't know what that means. It just means that the D-pad here is going to be better, at least. I'm not sure. But yeah, that is also, that as well. And then just for a quick overview of everything on the Ally X is, is still the AMD Ryzen Z1 Extreme, 80 watt hours battery, which is double of this one. The weight is a bit more increased, but I would always take weight with battery life over light, and I have to plug it in every single, 30 minutes or 1 hour or so. So yeah, this is the ROG Ally in a nutshell. And something here is, I thought the $799 price was confirmed, but apparently it's not confirmed. And, we will just be waiting for the pricing. It's still a rumor. I think that's the only rumor here because we've pretty much found out everything we need to know about the Ally X already. So I think at Computex June 2nd, we're going to find out what the pricing is going to be. And I really do hope it's that $799, maybe $899, but $799 I think will be the sweet spot for the Ally X when it comes to pricing. All right, so my conclusion and thoughts about the Ally X. Now, I'll be honest with you, best friend. When I first heard about the Ally X on their live stream, which was very disappointing, I was not very impressed. I was not disappointed, but I was also not very impressed because I was like, yeah, it's the same processor. What can change, right? And seeing this video cards article now with, double USB ports with USB 4, meaning that, I can plug, charge and also plug in another hard drive or, something else or an external GPU at the same time. This absolutely is, I think, will be a killer feature of the Ally X over this OG Ally and might even be worth upgrading from, I would say. And I think the other thing is also, just my interest has been piqued. Like they managed to do it. They managed to get me interested in this Ally X right here. So Please let me know what you think about the Ally X, especially with this new development, as this new update, with 24 gigs of RAM, 2 USB ports. Has that changed your mind? Let me know in the comments down there below. If you have, the Ally, are you considering upgrading to the X? If you've not bought one, if you have the Steam Deck OLED, for example, and you're thinking of maybe side grading, maybe not upgrading, because I know you Steam Deck users really love your Steam Deck, and I love that for you, honestly. Let me know as well in the comment section down there below. And yeah, it's like, 3 a.m. here in Malaysia. I'm trying to shoot and edit and release this as soon as possible so that it's still before when the Ally X comes out. So hopefully we'll be able to get all of the whole juicy details on June 2nd when that launches. But yeah, thank you so much for watching the video. I really love and appreciate you. And, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. I have Patreon, I have coffee. Buy me a coffee, buy me lunch. I would never say no to that if you really like what I do here, as this is totally independent and I'm doing all of this because I really just love playing games, man. And I really love, just telling you all the things that I found out about this wonderful device right here. So yes, you take care of yourself. Please let me know when you get home. Text me when you get home so I know you got home safe. And I'll catch you in the next one. Don't forget to stay awesome. Bye.